just wanted to quickly figure out what's working for you, what's not working for you. So if required, we can tweak the plan of action accordingly.
Sure, sir. Sir, at times I feel, sir, that I try to take out 2 hours, like you had mentioned, every day for my practice. But it's just with work. At times, my schedule it just gets changed at times, and that is what I guess this work-life balance issue that is there with us employees. The explanation or whatever you were telling in the class, I'm able to get it. So at times I have this doubt: will this actually start popping up with practice in my head, or is it? I mean, will what will I have to do? So just those questions at times, which.
No, I think, see, anytime you're trying to develop any skill, right, that's essentially the same trajectory that you will find yourself embarking on in the GMAT preparation as well. So, for instance, if in case you're learning to drive, so you
Mhm,
understand the very first day that you sit in the car to drive, if you're comparing yourself with somebody who's been driving for like 10 years, that's not the right comparison. Right. So if I'm
mhm,
solving the question for you, it's basically because the years of experience that I have practicing questions, explaining them, that you're able to see that, okay, there's a quicker way of solving it. But
mhm.
if you compare yourself with where I was when I started, we both would be at the same level, right? Because we
Understood.
basically, like, I also was working at that time. I knew the days were erratic. I wasn't able to find productivity, consistency. And that's why, like, these daily classes are the ones that came out of my own pain. Nobody else in the world is currently doing, just to be able to help people who are quite similar to me and they need that kind of push and accountability. But don't doubt yourself. Don't let that self doubt
Mhm.
creep in, because I know for a fact that people underestimate the extent of progress that's possible with 5 weeks of dedicated effort. That's why I'm saying, like, don't underestimate the importance of consistency and practice. Something that seems far fetched to you right now, that, okay, how will this ever click to me on my own?
Mhm.
Something that will become very natural to you, because it's all about letting your brain get adapted to the different levels of questions that the exam tests you on.
At times, with the tricks that you explain, I'm able to grasp them, then I'm able to apply them. So there's a confidence boost. Like the other day, you were teaching probability, and you said a lot of people have that mental phobia regarding permutation, combination, and probability because we had, an issue with it when we were in school. So the same thing is when it comes to quants with me.
Usually speaking, most people have issues with one of the two things for sure, right?
Mhm,
Like, people who come to me have an issue with verbal, because they never, like, they haven't been good at language ever throughout their life. And the kind
mhm.
of English that's tested on GMAT is one of the hardest levels that I've ever
Yes.
seen in any exam.
Hmm.
On the other hand, the math portion of GMAT is relatively easier than what it is for most exams, such as CAT,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So it's better to be in the boat that you're in right now rather
Mhm,
than being in the other boat where people essentially they have a much higher peak to attain. It is just a
mhm.
little bit of your thoughts that you have to have a little more control on, that can help you to get that breakthrough that you're currently not able to get.
Okay.
Secondly, treat math as if it's a new language, because that is what it is. Questions that you're solving from the material I'm sharing with you, Nityash, they are the hardest questions the exam can possibly throw at you. Those are
Mhm.
not representative of the level of questions you can expect on the exam across the board.
How should we go about the revision process now? Because Mahi told me that majorly my classes are done, and for DI we'll have classes on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah. So I would request you to speak with Mahi and ask her to share the study plan video with you. But the first 2 weeks of the classes getting over are very crucial, because that's where
Mm-hmm.
you consolidate everything that you've covered in the 5 weeks and get back up to speed with even those topics that we covered in the first week for you, right? Because you're
Exactly.
rusty on that. So give yourself maximum 2 weeks, and also give yourself a deadline that you will not take more than 2 weeks here, because I have seen if people take more than 2 weeks for whatever reason, they might feel I'm not ready, this and that. They're always looking for some kind of perfection. Um,
Mm-hmm.
those people end up completely losing out on the momentum that they've gained in the last 5 weeks of classes. All you have to make sure is that you're able to hit those targets in the 2 weeks, and you can, given what I know about you. You are sincere, you are getting up early, you're putting in the effort. Like, it wouldn't take you more than 2 weeks for sure. But even if you think it takes more than 2 weeks, take the mock still and get back to me.
God forbid, sir, if the smoke goes haywire, how do I then
So it
keep up
shouldn't,
with
like,
it?
that's what I'm saying, because then I have seen people, they try a lot of other things, but usually it comes back to attending the classes again, because getting that
Mm-hmm.
structure, getting that consistency in is something that is imperative for you to be able to get the exam done with. I've got 2 weeks. I have to take it by hook or by crook. So might as well make the most of my time right now, hit those targets, get the best possible score you can in the first mock, so that
Mm-hmm.
everything after that becomes easier.
earlier we used to not time ourselves when we were going through the classes. You said that we should focus more on accuracy and the process rather than focusing on the timing. Now with the mocks being there, and there'll be definitely a time which will be there, which and we will be timing ourselves. So in case we end up feeling that we're taking more time, then we should just go through the classes for that topic again, or should
So
I just
I've
follow the video?
Yeah, I've explained everything to you in the study plan video, Nityash.
Okay,
So
okay.
these questions that you have will automatically be cleared up in that. Just in case you have something else beyond it, you can always reach out.
And sir, at times I feel that with this error log maintenance that we do, at times, I end up lagging behind. So how important is it for us to keep consistency when it comes to the error log?
It's quite important, Nityash, because as I said, like practice is one thing for sure, but the
Hmm.
other thing is analysis. And if in case you're not analyzing your
Hmm.
mistakes, no, then the same mistakes tend to repeat and people hit a plateau.
If we look to give a GMAT exam, post the mocks analysis only, I guess we will be able to have a fair idea as to when we should schedule the exam, right? Got it,
So
got it.
after the first mock that we decide that, okay, how soon can you take the actual exam and what is the frequency at which you should go about taking your mock tests?
And sir, from a difficulty standpoint, since you've been in this line for such a long time, would you feel that with the exam pattern changing and we've moved to GMAT focus now, do you think there's a change in the difficulty pattern or level in the
No.
exams that was its similar nature? It's of a similar nature.
It's a standardized test after all. They can't have the GMAT to have very different ways of scoring or very different difficulty levels, because at the end of the day, there would be people applying with the older GMAT score along with people writing the focus edition. How's the otherwise the course been for you? Because I know it gets a little intensive, especially for people who are working full time. So wanted to know
Mhm.
how it went for you the last 5, 6 weeks for you.
The course was good, sir. Actually, initially I found it to be a challenge to, get into that regime and develop that habit of sitting every day and studying. For clearing any exam or achieving anything in life, I feel you should have that, that proper schedule should be there. You should follow that. Otherwise, it gets really difficult. But the course has been good. The tips and everything, the notes that you've given at times when I go through the notes, they are so much in detail that I actually, it just helps me, take back to as to what had we discussed in the class.
I think, see, consistency has its own magic. That's what I tell people. Like, the reason why we're doing it every day is because I know, even if initially somebody might be extremely weak at something, but if you keep chipping away at something for like 3, 4 weeks on the trot, then invariably the breakthrough is inevitable. That's why so many of the people who've been able to write their exam in 2 months have been able to do it, because a lot of people find it to be like too good to be true. How can you take the GMAT in 2 months? Because they underestimate the extent of progress that's possible with consistency. And so many times that although it's like extremely draining for me personally, like taking classes every day, putting
Hmm.
my best in front of people every day, it's very draining for me personally. But because the results have been so remarkable that I don't mind putting in the time to help people out here.